Hey boys, welcome back to some more Nrl Supercoach. I thought I would do a little pre-lockout video because there has been quite a bit of late mail. We should have known. When team list reveals are always like pretty stock standard. There's no big changes or anything. They're pretty boring. Something always seems to happen, and the first couple of games, oh my, there has been some big revelations / outs. So we'll go through that. I'll go through sort of my updated sort of planning now, and also we'll get to some questions that I'll talk about. So first off, Penrith v South. Nathan Cleary is gone. They're saying that it's just resting him because it's like a 5-day turnaround, traveling back from Townsville, which, yes, it is very annoying. So people that didn't jump on Cleary as soon as he got back have just been kissed on the dick. Like, they have been absolutely blessed by this situation. And that's the thing. I mean, that's Supercoach. It's a 50-50 one. All the 50-50 so far for me and many other people have just fucking not worked out. And that's another one right there. Cleary comes back. He scores 50 and he is being rested against South. So yeah, bit of a disaster, and people that didn't pick up Cleary, I know a lot of people were going to try to get him this week. Obviously, I mean, you probably have heard the news, but if not, then definitely don't get him in. And you're loving life. You're loving life at the moment. So that's one big one. The bigger one I'll say is fucking Jacob Gagai has been omitted from the team, bro. When I saw this, I almost lost it. So Michael Cheekham has gone to centre with Isaiah Tass going onto the wing for Gagai. Also, Kalamatangi has gone to the back row, which makes sense because he's not a prop, and Jai Arrow is starting a prop. It doesn't really change too much, but that's the other one. But fucking, what is... I can't believe it. I actually can't believe it. What has Jacob Gagai done? I'm just hoping, I mean, I don't want him to be injured, obviously, but I'm just hoping there was like a slight niggle that he's getting omitted with that reason, because if he actually is just getting dropped for basically Michael Cheekham to play in the centres, like, I am baffled. And I mean, barring all the Supercoach and whatnot and the jokes about that, but I feel for Jacob Gagai. Like, if it actually is him just getting dropped out of nowhere, I feel for him. Like, he's worked his ass off to finally get a crack. He's done like literally nothing wrong in the 2 games he's played, and all of a sudden he's dropped again. So I don't know. I don't know if it is just the dropping or if he does have a niggle. But yeah, what a disaster. He's not going to make any money, dude. I just can't believe it. But I don't know. We'll see if there's any more to come from that. I just hate the Rabbitohs. Just all round. Fucking garbage team. But then the next big revelation that came out, the Broncos Roosters game, Jared Rawia-Hargraves has been... Also, he's got apparently a slight niggle. There is talks that they're sort of giving him a rest so he can play his 300th game at home against the Warriors. I would... Surely that's a bit of a beat up because, I mean, they're taking on one of the premiership top heavyweights, the Broncos, so it'd be crazy if they are just giving him a rest in this one. So he's out. Also, Payne Haas is potentially out with a knee. He tweaked his knee again at training. Katoni Staggs also picked up a little niggle at training. So potentially, I mean, first off, if you're trading Terrell May to Payne Haas, definitely reverse that. I mean, Payne Haas could still play, but I just still think Payne Haas is a bit of a, not a trap, but with this niggle now and also coming up to Origin, I just don't think you should go to Payne Haas. I do, like, personally now with Hargraves being out, I am going to hold Terrell May. I was going to just trade him up to Adam Fennell-Blake with my boost. And I still, don't get me wrong, I still think trading Terrell May is a good idea, but I don't know. The end of the day, he should play bigger minutes this game now with Hargraves out. And I just think I don't know. I still have a good feeling Terrell May going forward is going to start getting more minutes. Like, I feel like maybe they're just resting him up a little bit. And I know there's the Spencer Leniu coming back, personally, I think that sort of helps him because I think most of their forwards, I think Spencer Leniu is probably the guy that's going to play the fewest minutes. I could be wrong. Spencer might come out and play 40 like White or someone else, but I feel like when Leniu comes back and gets rid of somebody from the reserves, that he'll probably play the fewest minutes for an impact role, and Terrell May should get decent minutes again. I could be wrong. I definitely could be wrong, and I still think if you're trading Terrell to Semi-Finu or Adam Field-Blake, I still think it's a great trade. It's just the fact, I don't know, the fact that he's probably going to play bigger minutes this week, I don't have to use a boost, and I think the boost is more important than trading Terrell May, who could score well this week, to Field-Blake, who, I mean, granted, could also score very, very well. I wouldn't be shocked if he scores another try against the Knights, but that is my thinking there. So some big ones coming out. Some big ones coming out from a couple of the games. Should have known. A very boring team list. So at the moment, I've still got Max Blythe coming in for Brooks. Kira's coming in for Strange is honestly, I'm locked into that one. I just like the Kiraz play. He's a super pod. Obviously, a lot of people are going Ruben Garrick or even Jermaine Asako. I like both of them. I'm still very tempted to boost and get Terrell May up to Garrick or Azarko. But part of me is just, I just have a feeling that Taylor May is going to go on a run at some point. It could never happen, and he could just average 40 for the rest of the season and just be an absolute fucking nightmare to hold. But I don't know. I can still see myself doing it. I just don't know if I want to use a boost. So, Max Plath, honestly, if I decide to trade Taylor May, I'm probably going to reverse the trade on Plath and go back to Brooks. I know that's crazy, but I don't think Plath is a must-have by any means. I think Brooks is fine to just hold for another week and then trade him, to a premium guy in a couple of weeks. I don't mind just going Brooks straight up to Brown in a couple of weeks, saving the Plath. Like, is Plath a must-have? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. The minutes have definitely been inflated. I definitely like him as a pickup, but I don't think it's boost-worthy. So if I go Taylor May up to another gun centre winger, I might just reverse the Plath trade. But I'm not, I don't know. I'm fine to just hold it like this, see how it goes. Because like I said with Garrick, just the draw and the buy coverage, it's not ideal for Manly and Garrick. He is at a great price, but that's just my thoughts at the moment. But let's go through some questions. So Shots here, talk me out of this for a boost, because I'm tempted originally. I was going to go Zarko and Fuller for Strange and Bostock. I mean, that's fantastic. He obviously had who did he have it? I don't know. He must have had who at fullback? Bostock? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, those two trades are great. With 230k in the bank, getting Fuller in as I originally going to get in Drinky. I mean, that's a tough. Like, if I held the trade like I was thinking about, and it was going to go to Drinky this week, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I would have gone Fuller or Drinkwater. I'm not sure. Like, I think Fuller cash and money making is probably a little bit too good to pass up. And also, he could just be a better play for round 13 than Drinkwater. Because like I said, the Cowboys are taking on the Roosters, who will be pretty full strength. So it's not an easy matchup for the Cowboys and Drinkwater in that first bye anyway. So I probably do prefer Fuller over Drinkwater for that bye regardless. So I do like that. But he's realised he can upgrade Fermor to Ali Katoa, who was a keeper. So the trades, Strange to Fuller via duels, Bostock to Izako, and Fermor to Katoa. 26 trades left and one boost. Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I personally like the idea of keeping Fermor just because he's looking pretty good. His base is great. He's actually looking pretty strong with ball in hand. But if that's the only way you can bring in Ali Katoa, like if you, I don't know, he might have Sean Lane, but he can't quite he might not have the cash to go like lane to Ali Katoa or even like a Smithies. So if Fermor's the only back row that you can get up to Ali Katoa, I mean, yeah, I think that's a good trade. I still like the idea of holding Fermor, but if he's the only way to get Ali Katoa, I think do it. I just think, I mean, Katoa is definitely going to be a keeper over Fermor. Fermor is going to be a great, 5th, 6th back rower that you can play potentially when you're depleted or even a bit of buy coverage. But yeah, I mean, Ali Katoa is definitely the way to go. So I think those trades are fantastic. I don't think there's really any reason to not pull the trigger there. Thoughts on... So I did actually answer this in the comments, but Mr. Callio, thoughts on Terrell Mater, Plath, swinging Curran up. So I'd have AFB and Curran in the front row, which is outstanding. And Strange to Kiraz. Could go Garrick. I mean, like I said, my argument, Kiraz versus Garrick, I think Garrick does have the highest ceiling. I think he's just shown that. I know Kiraz has gone massive at times, but I think Garrick, he does have the highest ceiling consistently more. But Kiraz, he's got a much better draw and better buy coverage. He covers 13 and 14 and 15, 16. No, he covers 13, 14 and then 16, 17. So like 2 of the major buys, but then also 2 of the backup rounds, which is fucking like phenomenal. So I rather Kiraz. I think Garrick, like it is a toss of the coin, but I would go Kiraz. But I'm not like, fuck you. Gary could go massive in the next couple of weeks. It's one of those ones you just got to go with your gut on that. It's a tough one. He did also say for me to boost and get Adam Finnell-Blake, which I was going to do, but like I said, I'm just going to hold. I am just going to hold Terrell May another week and save the boost potentially. Right or wrong, I don't know. I like I said, I don't want to keep using. The problem is, so the bigger reason for me doing that is, so my front row, like, if I trade Terrell May this week, right? Okay, get rid of Terrell May. He could come good, he might not. But then I've still got Sam Hughes and Liam Henry. Liam Henry's fine, I think, because he's going to stick around like 300k. He might be a decent play at times. Like, he's not going to be terrible AE or anything like that. Sam Hughes, on the other hand, like, he could peak in price pretty soon, and then all of a sudden his minutes could deplete, the attacking stats dry up, and then all of a sudden you got this 400k guy, 450 maybe, that's about to leak a lot of cash, and you're like, oh shit, you want to trade him out. So it's like, I got to trade Terrell May and then probably Sam Hughes. I think just hold Terrell May, hope he comes good, and then Sam Hughes is a guy I'm going to trade at some point, and Terrell May just hold as a backup slash, playable option if he comes good. But yeah, that's my thinking on the front row. So yeah, that's the reason. I just don't want to have to use a trade on May, which I still think is a great trade, but then I'm gonna have to use another trade on Sam Hughes at some point. So it's another 2 trades in the front row I just don't want to make. I'd rather just make one trade in a couple of weeks on Sam Hughes, and then Terrell May, if he still stinks it up, he's not going to be like an AE nightmare. He just, you probably just don't want to play him. But I still think he could come good. He definitely could. We don't know at the moment. Any type of injury, and he's already getting bigger minutes, so it is what it is. Then we have... So Tyler Ash, using a boost this week, going May to AFB, Strange to Kiraz, and May to Tungo, just to go for a pod play over Garrick. Timiko is an absolute snag over the origin period, as well as Marshall King for me personally. Yeah, I've definitely been Robson to Marshall King, like at round 13, I think could be a good trade. Obviously, depending on if Robson makes Origin or not. I do also have Brayley as cover, so I don't know if I'm gonna be going Marshall King, but yeah, like if you're looking Marshall King soon, I think he's a great pickup. Tim McCall, for some reason Tim McCall looks like he should be an absolute standout. I mean, let's just have a quick look at him, because I know he's had some big games. He just has some games where he just looks, unbelievable. Just tackle bust, line breaks, but then for whatever reason, he just doesn't average super high. What is he? He's at 650k as well. He's expensive. He's averaging actually 65, which is actually a lot better than he has previously. Obviously a 51 last week, but that was, they got flogged and he still got 51 actually, so that's not too shabby. But I don't know, like 43, 57, that's fine, that's good. 91, excellent. 56, 124, then 55, 42, 51. Honestly, looking at the centre wing, if you're looking at Timoko, honestly, just go Dane Gagai. Dane Gagai averaging 65. He's probably less likely to get that 120 to 130 like Timoko does, but he's just getting like 60 to 70 every week. And now he's got the goal kicking. I think go Gagai. I honestly think go Gagai. If you're looking at Timoko Gagai, he's also more pottish than Timoko, so I like Gagai a lot actually. And then the other trades, like AFB, I still think getting AFB over Terrell May is great. Like honestly, it's just the fact that I don't want to keep using trades like I said, but if you're gonna go AFB, he's gonna be your keeper front row for the rest of the season. He's fantastic. You don't have to worry about him. So I definitely like the trade. He's going Kiraz. I love that as well. I don't know about going Tungo. I like the Tungo play. He's obviously regressed quite a bit. If we look at him, what is he actually priced? Because I know I was very keen on him before last week, but yeah, he's gone like 30 odd, 30 odd, 30 odd. Obviously with Cleary, and especially now, like he can have some big games, but he's just been down. Penrith's attack hasn't been as good. Obviously, Cleary missing. I don't really love the Tungo. You posted this comment before Cleary was out, so you probably changed your mind anyway. But I think with Cleary being out and then Origin coming up, I would stay away from Tungo without Cleary. I think he needs Cleary to be relevant. It is a pod move, but he's still 600k. He'd have a huge break even. 97. It's not too bad, but I don't know. Again, I'd go Dane Gagai. I'd go Gagai if you can afford it over Tungo. My opinion. Sad Supercoacher, aren't we all at the moment? I think I'm going to hold Terrell May, but I am definitely considering selling him to Max Player so I can sell Strange to Jermaine Asako. But the trades at the moment, Schiller to Azarko, love that. Not keen on Garrick as much. Yeah, honestly, yeah, if you can save trades, I don't think going Terrell May to Max Plath is necessarily that worth it. I do love Plath, but it is hard to get a gauge on Plath because he's had 2 very increased minutes with some injuries and HIAs. Like, he could keep the role because he's looking fantastic, but I wouldn't be shocked. He's a young kid. He's not a big body. I wouldn't be shocked if he comes back down to earth a little bit. He's still gonna, I think he's a really solid, like 50, 55 average at like worst, but I don't see him playing 60 to 70 minutes every week. I just think that's a little bit, I think it's going to be too much for him week on week. So I love Plath. Going him last week at 380k, oh, absolutely. But now he's 450. I'm starting to lean against Plath a little bit, and holding Terrell May, I think for another week is fine with this news of Hargraves being out. But yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Super Spinky, he had Garrick trade in the last week, then reverse last minute for Iro. That's still good getting Iro. Honestly, Iro could be an absolute keeper till the end of the season. His base is just so good. The Sharks, against the better teams, like, the base is great, but then against the worst teams, the Sharks, they're notorious for just beating up on weaker teams. So Iro is definitely going to be in for some big games, I would think. It's obviously annoying not getting Garrick, but at the same time, you're able to get Iro at still a pretty good price, and you can still get Garrick. Like you said, he's not letting him go. That's the thing with fucking Garrick, is so difficult. I love the idea of going him. He's 600k. But I think I'm just going to fade. It's a tough one. It's a real tough one. Because if you take out that one in the game he got the concussion against Penrith, like his lowest score was 38 against the Titans, which was just a bit of an anomaly, if we'll be honest, against the Titans. He's got 99, 54, 92, 71, and 145. Like, that's fantastic. He got that against the South, who, I mean, at the time, the South were going pretty good. The Roosters, tough game, 54. Parramatta, haven't been good. Dragons. You know, granted, he scored his points against the worst teams, or like, you know, weaker defensive sides. It's just two good matchups. Canberra Dolphins, and then Broncos Melbourne, and then a bye for round 13, and then the backup game they take Penrith. Like, but then, like, if somehow he could hold his prize, picking him up in round 15 is like, oh my god, it's beautiful. Like, Dragons, South, he doesn't play 17, but that's not too bad. He plays 18, 19, 20. Like, it's one of those ones, like, I do think just getting him in, like, yeah, he does have a couple of tough matchups, but I guess at the end of the day, like, against the Broncos can still leak points for sure. Like, they can be susceptible to some points. Melbourne have shown, like, their edges. He'll be up against, I think, he'll be Nick Meaney's side, will he? No, Remus Smith's on the left. If he's up against Meaney's been fucking god-awful defensively. Even, I mean, Remus Smith, honestly, has been pretty good. So if he's up against Smith, still not the best, but their edges are not great. Like, Melbourne are just not what they used to be. And then, I mean, Penrith, obviously. Everyone has to play Penrith. It's going to be a tough one on the backup, but he's still a playable option on the backup. And then the draw for the rest of it's so good that, like, yeah, maybe you just bring him in. I think going Garrick is great. I think he's probably one of those ones you don't worry about the draw as much. So I'm like, the draw is important, but at the same time, if you can get him for 600k, yeah, he might have a couple of tough games where he doesn't score that well, but you just hold him. You hold him till the end of the season, and he's going to average that 70 plus. So I think he's good. It's just a matter, do I trade Taylor May for him? Like, Taylor May's been trash, but I do feel like there's something coming. I don't know. I'm so tempted because, like, then my back line would be, like, absolutely set. Obviously, Gagai being out's a killer. I mean, I could go Gagai up to him, but I don't want to use all my cash. I do want to have a little bit left over. I don't know. I honestly, I might bring in Garrick. I think it's a good pickup. And now without Cleary, honestly, who do we play? Probably Fermor. Again, I don't hate him against the Storm. It's tough, but he should get through a lot of work still. The Raiders are up against Manly. I mean, Fermor. Every time I pick Fermor, he stinks it up and Smithies goes good, but I think at the moment I'll just go Fermor. Who are the Knights playing, actually? They're playing the Warriors. We'll play Fermor for now. That's fine. But yeah, that's pretty much the update. I'm very tempted. I'm very, very tempted to go Garrick over Taylor May. Because I'm not going to sell Holmes. I'm not going to sell Ero. Tuivasa-Sheck, he's averaging 60. Like, I'm not going to sell Roger, surely. No, I don't think so. I think Taylor May's the one to go. It's just a matter of, do you pull the trigger? It just feels so annoying to do. Like, I feel like there's some big scores coming, but maybe there aren't. Like, Luai just doesn't use him. So the smart play probably is just get rid of Taylor May for Garrick. And maybe we just hold Brooks for another week and then trade him to Brown in a couple of weeks. I think that's probably just the way to do it. Honestly, I think that's what we're going to do. So I'll do the changes for that. I might change my mind. it's one of those ones, because things are going so badly, all the 50-50s are like even more stressful because they're so difficult to make. But other than that, hopefully you guys enjoyed the little update. Like I said, some big outs. Obviously, go on Twitter. There's always plenty of like updates for late mail on Twitter, and you can see, and who knows, there could be some other late emissions in these games. So just stay tuned. And I guess it makes the captaincy easy now. Cleary's out, so there's no temptation to put the vice on Cleary. So yeah, we're pretty much locked in. I mean, I could go Holmes over Pappenhausen. I might keep an eye on weather. I know there's a lot of weather around. Actually, they're playing at Seabus, so I don't think Gold Coast. I mean, it's just such a good track. If there's no weather at Gold Coast, I think you got to go Pappenhausen. But, I mean, Holmes or Drinkwater also great for the vice captaincy, and Hines, you just have to put the captaincy on him. He's too risky not to. So, other than that, hopefully you guys are enjoying. Make sure to like and comment, and I'll see you in the next one.